Hi everybody, I'm Scott, and I have a book haul for you today. I've had some books coming in over the last few weeks from various sources, and I thought I'd show them to you. They're mostly science fiction paperbacks of vintage variety, but I've got a few things that have come in that are current releases. So this is one, I'm excited to read this one. It's called The Splinter, or just Splinter Effect, by Andrew Ludington, and it's a debut novel. And this comes out on March the 18th. So it says, Andrew Ludington's action-packed debut novel, time-traveling archaeologist Rabbit Ward maneuvers through the past to recover a long-lost precious menorah hiding among the cities of Rome's ancient empire. It says Rabbit is an archaeologist with the Smithsonian, and he travels through time on sponsored expeditions to the past to secure precious artifacts moments before they're lost to history. So, Lest Darkness Fall kind of leaps to mind here, although, this fellow isn't an engineer. So, a lot of the blurbs on the back are comparing it to Indiana Jones. A smart, inventive, wildly rollicking adventure. Fans of Indiana Jones will flock to this story. A superb debut. Jonathan Maberry says Splinter Effect has all the fun of Indiana Jones and the rapid-fire thriller pacing of James Rollins. Read this now. I've never read a James Rollins, but anyway, I'm very, very interested in this one. So very happy to have that. March 18th, that comes out. This one came out on February the 25th. It's by the author of Mickey 7. And there's either a movie or a series coming out called Mickey 17. It says Major Motion Picture, so it's a movie called Mickey 17. So it says here, from the creator of Mickey 7, soon to be a major motion picture titled Mickey 17. Let's see, it comes the fourth consort. So the fourth consort by Edward Ashton. Dalton Greaves is a hero. He's one of humankind's first representatives to unity, a pan-species confederation working to bring all sentient life into a single benevolent brotherhood. That's what they told him anyway. The only actual members of Unity that he's ever met are Borrow, a giant snail who seems more interested in plunder than spreading love and harmony, and Borrow's human sidekick Nira, who Dalton strongly suspects roped him into this gig so that she wouldn't become the next one of Borrow's crew to get eaten by locals while prospecting. So, yeah, it sounds like it might be kind of funny. So, yeah, it says here it's a standalone sci-fi novel. It's part first contact story, part dark comedy, and part bizarre love triangle. So, very cool. So yeah, very interesting. Edward Ashton, and this came out on February 25th. And then I have one more here. Jonathan Maberry. He's got a lot of books in a series called Joe Ledger. This one is called Burn to Shine. And I'm looking, it says March 4th. So Rogue Team International joins Joe Ledger in Burn to Shine, a new tension-filled mission to stop a wave of bioterrorism from devastating the country. A covert group is infiltrating the world's most secure bioweapons research sites. All across the country, people are acting as human disease bombs by infecting themselves and walking into public places. And heavily armed groups of illegal private soldiers are massing for some unknown strike. Old enemies are rising and joining forces to hit Joe and his team with one devastating blow after another. A war of darkness and light is coming. Who will stand? Who will fail? And how will anyone survive? So I've never read any of these Joe Ledger novels, but I thought that there was a kind of a horror supernatural element to his books. It's kind of it's been described to me as a kind of Tom Clancy meets Buffy or something like that. I'm not sure. But anyway, let's see. Praise for the novels of Jonathan Maberry. A Suspense magazine says, it's the perfect read if you love something dark, and it's sure to be one of those books you'll keep thinking about long after you've completed it. And then Booklist says it's top-rate horror fiction. top grade horror fiction, but that's in some of his previous novels. It's not about this one specifically. So anyway, there it is, Burn to Shine. And yeah, if anybody's read Joe Ledger novels, let me know if they're good or not. But I haven't read any of those. So everything else I have here are vintage science fiction paperbacks, and how I love these. So I found doing the Clifford Simak read-through of everything he's written with Sean Standfast and Ira from SF Words of Wonder and others. And so I've been slowly collecting a complete set of Simak novels in paperback. And I was thrilled to find this. It's in fabulous shape. I was trying to decide which copy of City to get. I've read this before. I think it's terrific. It's really, really excellent. And the only copy I had was an ebook. So anyway, yeah, I'm definitely going to reread that someday because it's very good. And then another one to add to my Simak collection is this one, Highway of Eternity. It says I don't know anything about this one at all. It all began simply enough. A client had vanished, and Jay Corcoran went to investigate the man's empty hotel suite. But Corcoran's trick vision spotted the room-sized box stuck to the outside wall of the suite. There was no way to get into the box, so Corcoran cabled his longtime pal Tom Boone. Boone had a talent. When threatened, he could step around a corner into some otherwhere. Boone stepped into the box, taking Corcoran with him. So, very cool. Yeah, lovely art on that. Really nice copy of that. And then I've been reading, I'm in a group of folks that are reading some Heinlein novels, one a month. And this is the one, I need to get this read by next week, but it's in now, so I can do that. The Star Beast, I believe this is a juvenile. And this is cool. So John Thomas had a most unusual pet and an incredible problem with intergalactic implications! Exclamation point. So looking forward to that. I'm pretty sure that's Daryl Sweet on the cover here. Sure looks like him anyway. Yep, Daryl Sweet. So let's see. That's a little clearer. I need some better lighting in this room, I think, if I'm going to keep making videos. And then one more Heinlein that's on our list, but further down the road. I can't remember what month we're going to do this one, but this is Glory Road by Robert Heinlein. A broke young American answers an ad in a French newspaper and finds a job escorting the lusty queen of an endangered star civilization through a faraway dimension, filled with golems and horned ghosts, dragons, and dangers galore. Well, that's not typical Heinlein. So that ought to be something. So, Glory Road by Robert A. Heinlein. And then I have, this is a cool find. This is called More Women of Wonder. It was published in the 70s, fairly certain. 1976. Pamela Sargent is the editor, and Pamela Sargent is a good writer in her own right. But it's got C.L. Moore, and these are mostly famous stories. Like C.L. Moore, Jarrell Meets Magic is in here. That's a sword and sorcery story. Lee Brackett, Joanna Russ, Josephine Saxton, Kate Wilhelm, Joan D. Vinci, and Ursula K. Le Guin. And the Le Guin story is The Day Before the Revolution. So that's another one of her famous stories. So looking forward to that. And speaking of Pamela Sargent, here's one that I found. I don't know anything about this one, and I just snagged it. This is going to be probably the 80s, I'm guessing. 1983? Yep. The Alien Upstairs. The back says, Sarah and Gerard were dreamers, two young lovers fighting to make something of their lives in an America battered by depression and despair. Then a mysterious stranger came to stay in their small rural town, a handsome, enigmatic being from another world who promised to lead them to a realm beyond their wildest imaginings. But was he an angel, come to rescue them from the harsh reality of their lives, or a darker being, bent on strange and terrible purpose? So, very cool cover here. I don't know if you can see right here, it's like some kind of an alien craft kind of up in the clouds. It's kind of hard to make out there, but it's, yeah. So anyway, the alien upstairs, Pamela Sargent, looking forward to that. And then Kate Wilhelm. Kate Wilhelm was a favorite, mostly from her short fiction. This is this a collection or a novel? I actually don't know. I think I came across this. I think it's a collection. Yes, it's a collection. So I'm looking forward to that. I really like her short fiction, Kate Wilhelm, The Infinity Box. She also she won an award for Where Late the Sweet Birds Sang. That's a Hugo winner, and I actually have not read that one, and I would like to. I believe I have a copy. So this is a short story collection by Kate Wilhelm, and again, I'm going to guess 80s. Nope, 1977. This one was published in 77. The hardcover was 1975. So, yep, looking forward to that. Kate Wilhelm. And then I have Michaelmas by Algis Budrys, and very cool cover, Questar. So this is a reprint. I'm pretty sure this was published long before this. It's copyright 1977, and this printing is in 1986. So it says a true science fiction thriller. Michaelmas and Domino, man and computer, were linked to each other and to the complete database of Earth. They virtually ruled the world. For making the right subtle manipulations, they had the power to change the course of human destiny. Then came the day they discovered that someone or something was resurrecting the dead, and when astronaut Norwood, assumed killed in a shuttle crash, suddenly reappeared, apparently willing and able to control a crucial exploratory mission to the outer worlds. Michaelmas knew it was time to act, before the unknown intruders had time to mastermind the doom of all mankind. Yeah, so there's that one. Looking forward to that. And then I have a couple by Fritz Leiber. Fritz Leiber is, I know him mostly from Fafford and the Grey Mouser, and a smattering of short stories like A Pail of Air, and Gonna Roll Them Bones, and in Fafford he did Ill Met in Lankmar. But here's a book that I had never heard of. This is A Specter is Haunting Texas by Fritz Leiber. Pretty sure 70s, I'm going to say. Actually, earlier, 1968. So it says on the back, it's kind of funny, Greater Texas. Greater Texas, no more USA, just the giant hormone-fed Texans and the dwarf slaves they call Mexes, versus Scully Christopher Crockett LaCruz, actor, orator, ladies' man, a free-fall phenomenon, a 97-pound weakling from the sack, capital S, circling the moon. Just the man to stir up the Mexes. And it says this means war at the bottom. So, yeah, I don't know anything about this, so that should be crazy. Very cool cover. And then the next one, this one I believe is a Hugo winner, The Wanderer, and I have not read it. That's a pretty sweet cover. Yeah. The night began with a strange eclipse of the moon and exploded in terror. For Margot Gellhorn, fiancée of one of the astronauts stationed on the moon, the giant spheroid that had inexplicably appeared in the heavens would mean grief greater than she had ever known, and romance more exotic than she ever experienced. For Paul Hagbolt, a Project Moon publicist, the dazzling heavenly wanderer would mean an excursion into abject terror, an essential awakening beyond human comprehension. And for thousands of others, it would mean their sanity. For millions of others, it would mean their lives. Then at the very bottom, it says, but for one small cat, it would be heaven. So this is a book for Steve Donahue, if it's got a cat in it. I love it. Should be interesting. Yep, that's a Hugo winner I haven't read. And here is, I came across this one and picked it up. I like Richard Matheson quite a bit. Read lots of his books. But A Stir of Echoes is a movie with Kevin Bacon that I liked. And so here it is. And, so you see there's it's a ghost behind this man who is clutching his head as he's going crazy. It stirred and rose within him an eerie presence which haunted his days and filled his nights with horror. Richard Matheson. So, looking forward to that. And then this is a book that I have not read that has been recommended to me many times. It's The Ship Who Sang by Anne McCaffrey. I like Anne McCaffrey a lot. I've only read 3 of the Pern novels, her original 3. And let's see, what else have I read by her? I've read a few other ones. None are leaping to mind at the moment. What else? Let's see. Trying to think of some others. She's written so much. I mean, there's a lot, but most of the stuff that she wrote was Pern related. But this is A Ship Who Sang. It says, Helva had been born human, but only her brain had been staved to be schooled, programmed, and implanted in the sleek titanium body of an intergalactic scout ship. So, there you go. The Ship Who Sang. And this one was mentioned by Mark Richardson. We were in a live, I think, either a live or in Voxer, and we were talking about Frederik Pohl, and that would have been probably me and Standfast and him. And he mentioned this book, Undersea Quest. And so I found it on paperback swap and got it in, and it's a really nice copy. So very, very good. So Frederik Pohl and Jack Williamson both wrote this together. He said, Mark said they were fun books. So, a missing relative, something of value was buried beneath the underwater domed city of Marinia. Something that had already cost one man's life, caused another man's kidnapping, and gravely affected still another man's future. So, very cool. Definitely underwater adventure, undersea quest. So that should be fun. Now, this book I ran across, and I snagged it because John Gribbin, who is a science writer, used to write books, popular books of science. And this is a book by Douglas Orgill and John Gribbin. It's called The Sixth Winter. And as you can see, there's it looks like some skyscrapers that are iced up almost to the top. For 5 years, each winter has been colder, longer, later, and icier. For the first time in centuries, packs of hungry wolves are roaming in the wilderness, or roaming in from the wilderness, ferociously attacking anyone in their path. Huge tornadoes of ice, known only to Eskimos as the legendary dancers, swoop down on the northern hemisphere, leaving enormous glaciers in fields, rivers, and cities. So, for years, American scientist Dr. William Sloven has been warning people, including the president, that these catastrophic weather changes are moving south. Now snow is engulfing the United States. Ice covers skyscrapers. City must be evacuated. Worldwide starvation is imminent, and another ice age is devastating the earth. It is the sixth winter. Very cool. So this is a pretty tattered copy. 1979. So anyway, just I was curious, so I snagged it. So very, very cool. The Sixth Winter. And then this one is, I haven't read this book, but I've read I was going to say prequel, but this is actually a sequel. This isn't a prequel. it's hard to talk about this book without spoiling the first one. So The Forge of God is the first of this duology. Anvil of Stars is the second, and my understanding is it's a very different kind of book. And you'd understand if you read The Forge of God, because the way the Forge of God leaves things is in a difficult spot, to say the very least. So I highly recommend The Forge of God by Greg Bear, and I came across this and I was like, oh, I never did read that. So I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be from the 1980s, I'm pretty sure. 1992, actually. So it came out just a little after. So it's the sequel to The Forge of God. And I won't go further, because to do so will spoil The Forge of God. And with that, that's everything that I had. Everything that has come in over the past, several weeks. So lots of good reading to do. Thanks, everybody, and hope you have a great rest of your day.